Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how you can create user authentication using Mongo database and also Google Console. By the end of this project, you'll be able to sign in your users with Google, and also you will be able to see the details of your users, the email and the password they have signed in with on your database, which will be Mongo database. So by the end of this video also, you will have the source code of this project in my GitHub. I'll be posting it in the description. And here you can see I have this page. Is a project I've been working on, which is a admin dashboard. But in this admin dashboard, I'll only be showing you how you can create this. As you can see here, I have hello and then my name, which is in the my Gmail account, and also have the profile picture in my Gmail also. And if I click this logout button, you will see that it logs me out. So if I sign in again, it's going to prompt me to this sign in with Google, and then I'll select an account. I can select this one. Let's wait. And as you can see, the name has changed to the current Gmail, and also the profile picture has changed. And also if I come here and open my database, which is MongoDB, you can see that here I have the two users which are these two emails which are in my Google account. So by the end of this video, I'll be showing you how you can create this, and you'll also be able to see the users in your database. And if you want to learn other ways, I posted another video on how you can create user authentication using Clark and also Next.js. So let's start creating this. So I can close this, and I'll also close this. And then I'm going to close the project itself, and then I'll come to the desktop, and I'm going to open it in the I'm going to open desktop in terminal. You can open the terminal directly in VS Code, there's no problem. So here I'm going to write npx create next app. At latest we'll be using Next.js. Create next app at latest. If you don't know how to create a Next.js app, you will just come to your browser and search for Next.js. And once it's loaded, you will see this npx create next app. At latest, you'll just hit copy and it will be copied. So I'll hit yes here. What is your project name? I'm going to name it Mongo database, then Auth, Mongo database Auth. I'm not going to use TypeScript for this one. We'll only be using JavaScript. I'm going to use ESLint, Tailwind, yes, source directory, no, app router. We're not going to use app router for this project. So when you are installing when you're creating the app, don't select app router, just say no, and then import alias, no. So I'm going to wait for everything to finish installing. So everything have finished installing. So what I'll do here is I'll cd into my Mongo database Auth, and then I'm going to type code dot to open the folder in VS Code, and then now I can close my terminal because I don't need it anymore. And then as you can see here, I have my app which has the pages folder, we have the styles folder. And what I'll do here, I'll open the terminal and I want to run this app. So I'm going to open two terminals, this one and that one. So here I'm going to run npm run dev to start running the program. And what I'll do first here is to come to the styles, to the global CSS, and I'm going to remove this styling for the body to remove the dark color. And then I'll open this. Let's see, I'll open this in my browser, and as that opens, I'm going to open next Auth. This is the we'll be using next Auth to create our user authentication. So you can see here is it provides multiple sign-in, which include Facebook, Apple. Yeah, so you're going to come here and scroll down. You're going to scroll down up to this page that says add authentication in minutes. And let me see, my app is still compiling. Maybe I can close it first, then run it again, and I'll come back to this and tap get started. And then I'm going to come here and copy this npm install next Auth so that I can install it in my project. And then I'll go back to this first page. So I'll come here and inside here, that's where I'll paste the install. So I'm going to wait for it to install. Next authentication is already installed, so I'll come back to my browser, open this. I want to close it and open it again. Control click. Let me see. Or I'll just copy it directly. Control C. Then I'll paste it here. So as you can see, I have my app running. The reason it's like this is because I've removed the styling for the body. If I come back and undo it, you can see that it changes to the black color, and I don't want that, so I'll just remove that. And I can close my terminal for now. So make sure you run the npm install next Auth so that you can install next authentication. So we are done installing the packages we'll be using. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to come to the, let me close this first. So we are going to come and start creating our API. Inside here we have the index, we have the app.js, and also we have the API. So we'll come to the next Auth, and as you can see here, we have this which is saying inside pages. So inside pages API, you're going to create an authentication folder, and inside that authentication folder, we are going to create a file called nextauth.js. That's what you are going to do. That's the first step. So inside here, we are going to create a folder, and in this folder is going to be called Auth. And inside this Auth folder, we are going to create this file nextauth, then .js, and we're supposed to come here and copy this, and then go back, paste it here. We will only be using the Google provider, so I'm going to remove the email provider, the Facebook and the Apple provider. So I'm going to remove this, and also I'm going to remove the imports, and also these imports. So we'll only have that. So I'll come back to the next Auth, and we have already put that. We are going to come to this, to the next one, which is saying inside the pages app.jsx. We have that already, which is this one. And since we haven't changed anything inside this app.jsx, we just come here and copy this as it is, and then paste it here, because it includes the session provider, this session provider. So from here up to there, I'll paste it, and then I'll come back to the same page. And now this is the last step, which is saying inside the pages index.js, we are supposed to copy this so that we can be able to sign out and also sign in. So we are going to copy this inside our index.js, which is this one. So here I'm going to copy everything because I haven't changed anything. Control A, Control V, and as you can see now, we have these two. We have this not signed in, and also we have this as a button, but I wanted this to be like a real button. We can change that. So inside here, inside the sign out, this parenthesis and also this other parenthesis inside the sign in and the sign out, you are going to write Google. Yeah, going just to write Google. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. No, we are not supposed to write it like that. We are supposed to add this and also write Google like that. Now let's come back here. I want this to be, I've clicked sign in, sorry for that. So I want this to be like styled, so let me just give them a random styling. So I just do class name, and I'm using Tailwind CSS, so I'm going to give it a padding of 4, and then text Excel, and then I'm going to give it a background of blue. This one, let's see, I have that, and then we are going to do rounded. Let's see, rounded 80 to make it at least, yeah. And then I can change the padding to 3 to make it a little bit smaller, yeah. And then I want to do margin top of 4, yeah. And also I'll do the same here, margin top of 4. So this is just an example on how you can do this. So let me do this, Control X dot flex. I want to put them in to align the item center, and then justify to be around. It's just random styling, so I'll also do the same here, dot flex, then I'll paste it, then item center, then justify around. Let's see, we have that, we have the not signed in and also sign in. So what you are going to do here, you can see if I click sign in, it's bringing this, try signing in with a different account. So we are going to solve that. So after doing that, we are going to come back in our project folder, and here we are going to add another file, which will be, no, not there, actually it's here. We are going to add a file which is .env, where we'll put our environment variables, and we are going to come to the next Auth, and we have this Google ID, Control C, and we are going to paste it here. This is where we are going to put our Google ID from the Google console, and then we have this Google secret. All of these you are going to get them from Google console. So I'm going to paste it here, and then later on we'll be adding the MongoDB URL after creating our database. So you're going to come to our browser and you're going to open Google console. If you don't have an account, you're going to sign in, and then after signing in, you're going to come here on top of here where it's saying select a project. If you have a project, you're going to create a new project, but if you don't have, I think it's supposed to tell you to create a new project. So you're going to hit new project, and I'll name it as my project database Auth, and I'll hit create after doing that, and then let it finish creating project. The project is created. So what we'll do here, we are going to open API, enabled API and services, not actually that one, but credentials, sorry. And then we are going to create credentials, and no, it's supposed to be, we are going to start with this one. So you're going to hit credentials, and then you're supposed to click this create credentials, and then you're going to select Auth client ID, and you're going to select we are creating a web application, and then you can leave this authorized JavaScript origins. We are going to add this authorized redirect URLs, add URL. So what you're going to do here, we're going to come to next out and come to documentation, and then to providers. Inside providers, you're going to look for Google provider, and as you can see here, we have this configuration. The authorized redirect URLs used when creating the credentials must include your full domain name and in the callback path, for example. So you're going to, we are not doing production, we're doing development. So you're going to copy this, and after copying this, you're going to come and paste it here in the authorized redirect URLs. So I'm going to paste it there, and then you're going to hit create. Once created, you can see we have the client ID. So I'm going to copy this client ID, and you can remember we created this environment variable. So I'm going to paste it here, and then we also have the client secret. So I'm going to copy also the client secret here, Control V. So by doing that, that's better. The next thing we are going to do now is to let me see. Oh, I created credentials for a wrong database. So I'll just repeat the same process again quickly. So I'm going to first start with auth consent screen. We are going to start with auth consent screen. I'm sorry about that. I created it for a wrong database. Then you're going to hit external, create. Then you're going to give a name, Mongo database Auth, and then I'm going to write my email there, and then nothing else. So it's developer contact information. So I'm going to add my email. Let me edit this RC. Save and continue. Then you're going to hit save and continue. You won't change anything. Save and continue, and then back to dashboard. And then now here we are going to come to the credentials, and then create credentials. Auth client ID, application type is a web application. We are going now to add our redirect URL here, which we got it from here. I'm just going to paste it. Then I'm going to hit create. Now we have this. Now I'm going to update my IDs with those ones. So I'll just do that. Then copy the client secret. Make sure all your secrets and ID are copied correctly. So by doing that, we have finished setting up our Google console into our projects. So what you are going to do next is we are going to come here and open MongoDB, which is Atlas MongoDB, and you're going to do the same thing. If you haven't created an account, you create one. If you have one, you log in. So I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to use Google for sign in. It has already signed me in. I don't want this one, so I'll just log out quickly. So I'm going to log in using this account. And then after signing in into MongoDB, you are going to come to your project first before doing anything else. And inside your root directory, you're going to create a lib folder. And inside this lib folder, you're going to create a mongodb.js. Here we are going to create a connection to our database. So what you're going to do here, we are going to come back to our next auth, and remember we have clicked providers. Now you're not going to come to providers, you're going to come to adapters, and then you're going to select the MongoDB adapter, and we are supposed to install this, so we'll just install it in this, yeah. And then after installing it, you'll come here. We have this add the Mongo client. The Mongo adapter does not handle connection automatically, so you'll have to make sure that you pass the adapter. So we're going to copy this and then come back here and paste it here. And then what you're going to change in this, you can see all the comments. So what you're going to change here, it's only this. You can see that our VS Code is showing us an error, so we'll just delete this, and then we're just going to close that. So you're going to remove that from that client promise, and then you're going to copy this MongoDB URI, copy that, and then we're going to come to our environment and paste it here, because we'll be given a URI from MongoDB. So I think it has finished installing. Yeah, I'm not supposed to get any error there. So I have this MongoDB and I think it has taken me back. I'll just use this one. So what you're going to do here, we are going to create a new project. So we're going to hit new project, and then we're going to give it a name, which is Mongo database auth. Next, and then we're going to create a project, and then you're going to click on build a database. You're going to select this free, because if you have the subscription you can, but for me I'm going to use the free option. Then I'll hit create, and then here we are going to use this username, and then I'm going to give a random password. So I'm going to just say Ekla1234. Note that this is only for development. It's either I'm going to delete this project or I'm going to change them later. But what I'll do here is I'll come to my git ignore, and I'll just I'll just tell git to ignore the environment variables while pushing. So you're going to set a password, and this password you're supposed to remember it, because when you're given the URI by the MongoDB, you're going to replace the word password with your password, which you use to create a user. So I'm going to hit create user, and then where would you like to connect from is my local environment, and then you're going to add your current IP address. Mine is already added, but you are going to click add my current IP address, and then you're going to finish and close, and then congratulations. So you're going to go to databases, and then you're going to hit connect. You can see here it says connect to your application, so you're just going to hit that, and then you have this URI here. So I'm going to copy this URI and I'm going to paste it in my environment variables. So I'll just paste it here, and you're supposed to remember your password. So you're going to change this whole password thing with your password, which is Ekla1234. That is my password. So I'm going to close that. I think I'm done with that. And then now, after doing that, I think we can now test our application. So anytime a user signs in, you are going to click on browse collections, and here is where you are going to see the data. So I'm going to come back to my project, and then I'm going to hit sign in, and you can see it has brought me this thing to sign in with Google. I'm going to select an email, and as you can see now, we have this signed in as moiroriatc@gmail.com, and then you have this button sign out. If I click sign out, it's going to sign me out. And if I come to my database, you can see that, let me come back to let me refresh. Not actually, let me go back, then browse collections. I'm supposed to have a user in my database. Let me try it again. Let me sign in with a different account. Then you can see it has signed in as eklakhalid@gmail.com. Login is working. We can sign out and we can log in again. So you can use this method if you are creating a admin dashboard or anything of that sort. You'll be able to sign in users, and also you'll be able to say how many users you want to access your admin dashboard. So by doing that, you'll be able to create an active sign up program. So make sure you leave a like on this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and we'll meet on the next video.